On this episode,
Big boom, big boom, big boom.
burning down the house in a Mythbusters Bug Bomb Bonanza. Will this be the straw that breaks Jamie and Adam's backs
Adam's kind of looking pale.
as they search for a needle in a haystack?
My back is killing me. I am soaked to the bone.
Whoa! Oh, yeah!
And strange voices in their heads. The build teams talking to plants.
I hate you!
Who are the Mythbusters? Adam Savage
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
and Jamie Heineman.
I kind of like it in here. It's private.
Between them, more than 30 years special effects experience.
That was intense.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
Bug Bomb. This one's going to help us fill out our explosion quota for the series, huh?
The story is that a family in a 500 square foot house had a bug problem and decided to take care of it with those aerosol bug bombs. Unfortunately, they used 10 or 11 bug bombs. Each one could handle a 700 square foot house. So they went down the street to wait out the bug killing that they were doing, and they heard a boom, and they came back to find their entire house had been blown to smithereens by the bug bombs igniting and setting fire to the house.
This story is either the ultimate roach's revenge or a Mythbusters flight of fancy. Very small house, enough foggers to fumigate a barn, a spark, and it seems bug bombs could be very well named indeed. They'll get things started by cutting this myth down to size.
We've set up this little plastic house as a miniature experiment to test the explosive qualities of bug bombs before we do it with the real house, a full-sized house.
But what household appliance could spark an explosion? Adam is looking for a stove and a salesperson to baffle. Jorge is his man.
Have you ever heard the myth of someone using too many of those bug foggers in their house, that put out the gas to kill bugs, and then their stove accidentally ignited it and blew the whole house up?
Well, no, I never heard of that.
Well, that's what we're going to do with your appliances. We're actually going to attempt to blow a house up.
Okay.
Appliances for blowing up houses. That would be aisle 4.
This one has the electronic system. There's
Okay.
a spark here, and there's one in the oven. So I think this is your baby here.
That's perfect.
Jorge has the easiest sale he'll ever make and a very interesting story to tell the relevant authorities. Adam has his oven and some work to do.
I've never taken apart a stove quite like this before. Love to do this. So these are the actual sparkers, the things that go.
The myth doesn't specify a stove sparker ignited the fogger gas, so the guys will test several possible household culprits.
This is our igniter panel, and I have 4 different types of ignition sources here. One is a lighter, which is like a pilot light. We have a standard wall plug-in sort of a device. This over here is a standard thermostat for your house. This one potentially could have a tiny spark created every time you move the lever. And lastly, we have a stove igniter. This just creates a continuous little spark.
All the igniters will be wired back to a single control box so they can be set off remotely. That's probably wise, given Adam is in charge of the electronics.
Okay, you ready for a jolt?
Yeah.
Here we go. So here comes the faulty wiring.
Uh-oh. That just, there's a short somewhere in the line because it just blew the thing.
That would be bad. Let's see. Damn it. Why don't I make sure that everything else works?
When in doubt, the Mythbusters rely on the never-fail combination of random tinkering, and dumb luck.
All right, so I think my faulty wiring of the faulty wiring is no longer faulty, so that it's correctly faulty. Oh, let's see here. No short? Let's test the circuit. There we go, 125 volts. We're good.
Time to take stock. Model house, check. Potentially explosive bug bomb, check. Various open flames and electrical sparks, check. What could possibly go wrong?
Highly flammable.
Highly flammable. Turn off all ignition sources. Open flames, pilot lights, running electrical appliances, thermostats. Wow.
This is a bug bomb.
Yeah.
Yet again, we're blowing things up in front of my shop. And not only that, but there are noxious chemicals involved, which will probably leave a residue over the whole block. And I guess it's okay. I'm getting used to it. So are the neighbors. There you go. Put it in.
And so it's bombs away. A fogger is designed for an area 3,000 times bigger than this box. They have no idea if it's explosive or how big that explosion might be.
Okay. Not getting anything from the stove igniter. That sound? That means it's working. Okay. All right, thermostat. Okay, thermostat's working. Switching. Nothing. What a shocker. Okay. Faulty wiring. Hey!
Not only is the fogger spray explosive, but Adam's rig worked.
Ready?
It's a red letter day and worth an encore.
Faulty wiring in 3, 2, 1. That was fantastic. I had no idea it would work like that. Oh, that was a rousing success.
It turns out the propellant in many aerosols has a petroleum or propane base and burns in the right conditions. The Mythbusters Demolition Service is open for business.
So do we get to go to full scale now?
Now we go to full scale. We need to gather up our ignition sources, the appliance timer, the thermostat, the stove sparker, the open flame or pilot light, and then we need someone who's going to let us blow up their house.
I hate you, you pathetic little plants.
The Mythbusters build team has something to say.
I don't like you. I think you look fat in that green, horrible shell.
Is this the end of a beautiful friendship or the start of something else?
I love you, love you, love you, love you, sweet, adorable pea.
Okay, so what are we working on now?
Our next myth is talking to plants. Now, there's a lot of people out there that think your plants will grow better if you talk to them.
What if you hate plants and you're really mean to them?
We can try that too.
You know what I'd like to try is music. They say classical music makes your plants grow better, but we should mix it up. I'll get some heavy metal and classical and see which one works better.
Sounds good to me.
Sweet talking plants. Normally the domain of eccentric old ladies with lots of cats. But anything for science.
So we're doing a little experiment. We're getting some plants and seeing if they respond well if we talk nice or we talk mean to them. Have you ever heard of anything like this working?
I think it's an old wives' tale personally.
So you don't talk to your plants then?
I don't talk to my plants, no. So do you want to actually start from seed or little seedlings?
We'd like to start from scratch.
Okay.
He might not believe the myth, but he's happy to sell them bush peas and plenty of other stuff besides.
Do you have 70 of one kind of pot?
I think talking to plants works. I mean, you know, I communicate with my plants in some way, I think, by thinking to them, and I have the best garden on the block.
I think the idea of talking to your plants is some foolish, hippie, crystal gripping nonsense, and it absolutely has no effect on your plants.
Armed with pots, fertilizer, and peas to feed an army, the build team moves to phase 2. They're going to build 7 self-contained greenhouses. A control will have silence. One will have 24-hour heavy metal music, another classical. 2 will be fed sweet talk, and the last 2 will get abuse. They'll set up on Jamie's roof, which it turns out would be equally suited as a location for wind tunnel testing.
It seems like we've made big giant box kites. These things are pretty flimsy and it's very windy up here. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to keep these from basically blowing away. Let go, see what happens.
Yeah, good one, Tori.
See what I'm talking about?
Adam could use it as a giant parachute.
You could have someone's eye out with that thing.
Sorry.
What they need is more weight and strength. Tori's solution? Plexiglass sides.
Think these are gonna hold up?
Once they're all together, I think they will, but that's gonna be the challenge.
Soon enough, a little greenhouse village has grown up, and no amount of huffing and puffing from Jamie will blow it down.
Putting all these greenhouses up here on the roof, I think I'm going to get checked out by the police for growing pot or something up here, you know? It's like, what are you doing? It looks kind of suspicious.
There'll be 10 pots per house, 1 pea per pot.
Pathetic little nasty thing. You make me sick. I hope you shrivel and die.
To prevent immediate shriveled death, they've rigged a battery-powered automatic watering system, overhead misters, and drips in the pots.
Every day at the same time, each pot gets the exact amount of water.
As far as possible, conditions will be identical for all the plants, except, of course, the soundtrack.
We're speaking a normal, clear voice.
Okay, this next one goes out to my friend Greasy. I hope your roots rot in hell. The only thing you're good for is giving people gas.
You suck, freshman!
How's that? Beautiful, round, green peas.
You nasty little awful green pea that's ruined every burrito I've ever had.
Each monologue will be played constantly throughout the experiment. If the build team stayed all that time, the carbon dioxide from their breath might affect the outcome.
Dumbass peas.
But Tori needs something with a little more polish.
Do you have hardcore to the bone death metal?
Do we ever?
Yeah, this is good. I think it's gonna work.
Cool.
Now the classical section.
Not a big selection.
Everything's ready. The greenhouses are built, the peas are in their pots and watered, the CDs are playing.
God, my timing is off. It's been a while since I've conducted.
This myth now lies in nature's gentle hands.
Keep a clean house, and what's my reward? Chasing after disgusting cockroaches.
Ever since the invention of television, and maybe even before, bugs have been a real nuisance.
7,000 so far.
Luckily for all concerned, those clever folks in white coats keep inventing neato ways to bring a bug-free smile to your dial.
We're sending them to a motel.
To a motel?
And now, the Mythbusters have come up with their own extermination plan. They're testing the myth that a family blew up their house after overfilling it with bug foggers.
This is perfect.
So they need a house to send into orbit. And luckily enough, NASA has this one due for demolition anyway. But it needs some work first.
Here on Mythbusters Makeover, we're turning this lovely California bungalow into a disaster zone.
The house in the myth was tiny, just 500 square feet. This place isn't big, but it's bigger than that.
That's almost 200. This is 250. With basically up to this hallway is almost exactly 500 square feet. We'll get like probably 550 if we block off all the other rooms in the hallway.
Works for me.
They'll seal off several rooms so the remaining space in the house is exactly 500 square feet.
Bye-bye bathroom.
The flammable carpets have to come out. And they need a way to ventilate the house in case the bug spray doesn't burn up. Something really complicated, like, say, opening a door.
We don't need no friggin' flap.
This is how Jamie finds his way back home. He seems like he's really smart, but he gets lost if he's more than 50 feet away from any one of us.
So they've got their house and ventilation. Now, the sparky bits.
Formerly, these two plugs were actually our faulty wiring test rig. What we did was we put a rocket igniter in there and wrapped some mattress around it. So in case our open flame pilot light doesn't work, we have two emergency backup, super duper, fail-safe, foolproof ignition systems.
They figured 200 feet should be far enough away, so that's where they'll fire the igniters from. And now it's time to drop a bomb, or 12.
Just fine.
Whoa, hey! It's all bold in this thing. He becomes much more expressive. Now he's like, oh.
Let's go do this.
Okay. There's going to be two in the hallway here.
The plan is to set off 12 bug bombs inside the house, the same as the myth, and more than 10 times the manufacturer's recommended amount. Then they'll fire up each of the ignition systems until they get a blast.
I'd put our chances right around 90%. I mean, there's always something that can go wrong, but we've got fail-safe and foolproof ignition systems times 3 or 4. Plus, we've got, like, by my last count, like 7 or 8 fire departments helping us out. And yeah, I think we've done our homework. I'd put us right around 90%.
You ready?
I'm ready.
And you go. And yell loud and clear if you need help. Okay. That's what I'm here for.
I think I'm done.
Go ahead.
Wants me out.
The air is turning thick and toxic. Even with gas masks, they need to get out fast.
Okay, we're about to close the house up, over.
Good.
Okay, the house is closed up, we're moving away. Starting the timer. Okay, everybody behind the barricades.
Lighting stove igniter. Nothing.
Something's not right.
Nothing.
Hey, it would help if I was plugged in. Ignition's hot. Lighting stove igniter. Can you see it here?
Yeah, it's lighting.
No ignition. I mean, we got as much of a flame as we could get.
Interesting. Do you want to open the door?
Yep.
As the air clears, the Mythbusters are, well, mystified. After all, they've blown this stuff up just fine back in the workshop.
Blowing up a house with bug bombs is maybe not quite as easy as we thought. So we're going to have to persuade it to blow up.
To do that, they'll try a bigger, longer burning flame and more bug bombs. Far, far more than is recommended on the label. Far more than is safe or sane.
Man, that was dense. Ugh.
As the house fills with fogger and the team takes its position behind the blast screen, it's worth taking a brief diversion to San Diego, California.
It's the blast heard around the neighborhood. Roach bombs that did much more than just kill a few bugs. They knocked this home off its foundation.
This house could have ignited the myth. It was blown apart in the same circumstances the guys are recreating. Too many bug bombs and an ignition source. In this case, a wall heater.
More isn't better. Just pay attention to the directions.
That would have been good advice for Jamie and Adam as they prepare to press the button. But, well, it's too late now.
Okay, you ready? I'm making the ignition hot.
Okay, places everybody, make sure you're out of range. Okay, and when you're ready.
Faulty wiring, here it comes.
It's lit. It lit good. It totally emptied the whole house out.
We got something.
The bug bomb myth is emphatically proved.
It was foggy, and then all of a sudden it was very clear.
Hey, the smoke detector works. Wow, look at that. Just popped the back door right off.
All the air just came out like a whoosh.
I wanted broken glass.
Oh, we got a fire in here.
We do. It's really smoky now.
Did he put it out?
Yeah. You got it.
No roaches. Go figure. But you can never be too sure. Jamie and Adam have all these foggers left over.
One more.
This is Mythbusters after all.
Man, that is rank. Big boom, big boom, big boom. In 5, 4, 3, 2,
Jen, watch out.
1. That's what I wanted to hear. That's what we're talking about. Wow. Yeah. Did we blow out a window?
Yep.
Woo!
Over at the Environmental Protection Agency, they could have saved the Mythbusters quite a bit of trouble.
That's no myth. It occurs in California at least once or twice per year. They overload the number of these foggers in their dwelling to the point where it fills up, and then they forget to shut off their pilot light or other ignition source and blow out windows, or even to some extent can blow up and destroy the entire structure.
So always read the label and don't try this at home if you still want to have a home to go to.
All right, what do you think, guys? Is it busted, plausible, or confirmed?
It's definitely confirmed. I mean, we blew the doors out. You know, we had a little fussing around with the ignition source, but it's true. It'll happen.
Bug bombs plus ignition source equals boom, no doubt confirmed.
Only reason I planted you guys was so I'd have someone to abuse on Mondays.
Things are just peachy keen in greenhouse world.
You suck! Horrible, ugly, little, gross, disgusting peas! I hate you!
It's been a week since the peas were planted, and it's time for a head count.
I have 5 sprouts in my nasty. Oh wait, 6. There's one there too. Okay, I'm gonna go check the nice and see how many I have over there. 5. Nice has the same amount as nasty.
Peas are just busting out all over.
Wow, 6 sprouts in the nice greenhouse. We started them a week ago. That's pretty good. See how the nasty one's doing.
I'm gonna cover you in aphids.
Not a whole lot going on in the house of nasty. Only 3 sprouts.
You're nasty.
Maybe we're onto something here.
7 sprouts have risen to the sweet sounds of classical music. And over in the House of Rock,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. It's neck and neck between classical and metal. However, the metal seems to be popping up a little bit more.
while the plants seem to be coping, the build team is shaping as a fine study in the effects of extreme audio.
We've been up here for hours, and I just want to stab my eye out with a rusty spoon.
Life is good. Sitting here, playing with my plants, listening to classical music. I mean, I am a blessed man.
I think that you're very unpopular as far as vegetable goes.
Answering this myth will take 60 days. It's sounding like a prison sentence. The Mythbusters are busting out all country.
This is a big bale of hay.
But why are these city boys down on the farm? The answer's like finding a needle in a...
Jamie, I think it's time that we go for a new kind of myth, a new kind of experiment. I think we should start investigating old adages and homilies to see if they're in fact still relevant.
Oh, you mean like the needle in the haystack?
Exactly. Can we use modern technology to render that phrase meaningless?
Well, that works for me. That means the first stop is a hay store.
Otherwise known as a farm.
Ah, the hay store. Barrett's Hay Farm, just outside Sacramento.
Have you ever found a needle in the hay?
No, I can't say that I have. I've never found one.
And Mike hasn't been short on needle-finding opportunities. Barrett's makes more than 2 million bales a year. Both hay, which is what animals eat, and straw, which is generally what they sleep on.
It's funny because if you asked me to pick out what I would think of as your traditional movie type hay, I would point to the straw, not to this stuff.
Traditional movie hay?
Yeah, you know, like the people are always getting stuck in a hay bale or rolling in the hay or whatever they do in the movies. You know, that's what I would think of as hay.
Having a roll in the hay with your girlfriend.
Yeah, don't get all red-faced.
To make their very own movie-type haystack, they'll load up with 20 bales of Mike's finest.
No, I don't enjoy loading hay at all, actually. It turns out this was one of those things that I didn't have to explore.
So they have their hay. Now, where can they find a needle? Ah, this might be the place.
Hi, are you Kathy?
Yep, I'm Kathy.
Adam.
Needle expert Kathy gets straight to the point.
Well, the real question is what kind of needles? Because needles for many, many generations were made out of bone, which would make them definitely much harder to find with modern technology.
Okay, so what we'd like is, I guess, 2 of the bone ones, unfortunately.
Okay.
They also take a bunch of metal needles, and the Mythbusters are ready for action.
All right, well, we've got 10 bales of hay apiece. We've got 4 needles, 1 of bone, 3 of steel, and the producer wants us to have another one of those competitions.
I mean, this one's going to be really tough because normally I just think like a metal detector or a magnet to find most of the needles, but the bone one really throws it off. We've got to come up with a machine that can separate out a non-metallic needle as well.
So it's a competition. They'll split the hay into 2 stacks, hide the needles, and see whose machine finds them first.
Love you. You suck, suck, suck. Come on, little peas. Push it up. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you.
So, Christine, We're about to build a needle finding device.
Normally, Jamie keeps his design simple, but all that fresh air has gone to his head.
We're going to take a leaf blower and we're going to suck hay up and out the other side into a long horizontal PVC. Is have that tube feed into a metal pipe, feed into a 55-gallon drum.
A picture might help. Hay will be blown through a long rotating tube with slots cut in it for the needles to fall through and a magnet to catch them at the end if they make it that far. As a fail-safe, the hay will then be channeled into a furnace and burnt, leaving only needles.
This mechanical approach will work where no electronic means would possibly work. I mean, how could you possibly sort out a bone needle from the middle of a haystack?
That question's troubling Adam, too. Plan A is a sifting table. Shake the hay through and use a metal detector to find the needles.
There we go. So, needle fell through on first try. Now the problem is, how would one get a bone needle out of here?
Not with a metal detector, that's for sure. Time for Plan B.
I'm going to build a new machine that will sift, instead of using like grating holes like this, but actually use water to separate, agitate the hay and separate out hopefully the needles, and then I pick them out at the bottom of a sluice. And then I get this needle.
Water and gravity. Adam hopes he's onto a lethal needle-finding combination.
So the hay floats quite nicely. Let's see what it takes to agitate it. All right, I'm gonna look underneath. Let's see if I can see this needle. Is that my needle? Oh, that is it. There we go. This is actually the only method I've looked at so far that will also net me the bone needle when all is said and done.
And so the Needle Finder 2000 is born. A shallow tank, 3 agitators, hay goes in, sludge comes out, and hopefully needles are left behind. Once again, the Mythbusters' ingenuity is on the line. Will Adam's paddle-wheeled, water-sorting Needle Finder 2000 do the job?
Oh, she's gonna blow, Captain! I can't keep it up much longer!
Or will Jamie's high-rotation tube with needle slots win the day? The only way to find out is to put them to the test.
Our plant diary says it's been 27 days.
Ooh, here we are, dead of summer.
And we're like halfway there.
At Greenhouse Central, only the control house has had silence. For the rest, 4 weeks of constant rotation CDs and cajoling to test if plants grow better if they're talked to.
Need to grow real big. We got the state fair coming up in about a month. You guys look like champs, all right?
Yeah! Come on, baby! Yeah! Go! Come on! Yeah! Go! 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 Oh, yeah!
That's gonna be good for them. That will, really inspire these guys to grow a little bit better.
Oh my gosh. You guys are doing
Strangely enough, halfway through the experiment, trends are emerging.
My sweet words must have an enormous effect on my plants because these plants are growing much better than my nasty plants. This guy here is huge. He's got little arms reaching out, grabbing on. So far, talking nice is actually working, and I hate to say it, Scotty might be proving me wrong.
Talking nicely to plants, making them grow better. Is Carrie losing her mind?
Oh, you
all your peas? Look at all the nice little peas growing in there. Oh, I love you, peas.
I'm worried about all of us.
They know how I feel.
I think we need some psychological evaluation.
I'm gonna rip you out of your pots and turn you into pulp on the ground. Got it?
Clearly, they need some time off this rooftop. They'll leave the watering system to babysit their plants.
They're doing pretty well.
Plants are doing very well today, Tori.
Hi, Tori. What plants do you think are doing better?
How you guys?
Well, I think the heavy metal plants are better because there's so much anger in this world. It really helps to listen to that kind of stuff and you can get it all out.
It's okay.
Oh, I can see what you mean. That classical music really kind of makes the hairs on my neck stand up.
Let's get out of the sun.
It's needle finding time, and the build team has come down to help. Jamie and Adam have 1,000 pounds of hay to search and 4 needles to find, one made of bone.
This is going to be the biggest bay hail thing of hay you've ever seen.
So let's roll it over.
Jamie figures the easiest way to find a needle in a haystack is to make the haystack go away. His machine is designed to separate out the needles and burn the rest. Adam is using water. Hay floats and needles sink, he hopes.
Adam's rig is actually fairly clever, I think, and it may well handle a better volume than what mine does. I think mine might be a little bit more thorough.
This Mythbusters team is going to win this one handily. We'll be like sipping mimosas on the beach, and Jamie will be there like, oh, I still have the 2 needles to find.
As the needles are buried by researcher Colette, it's clear the boys will need help. Tori and Carrie will team up with Adam. Christine and Scotty are with Jamie.
All right, you guys, ready? The clock is ticking. Go!
Adam's team feeds the hay along the water trough and out the other side, hoping the needles sink to the bottom on the way through.
I'm not sure about this.
Jamie's hay is blown down the twisting tube, allowing the needles to separate and fall out slots. At the far end, it's transferred to a furnace, which should burn everything but metal and bone.
Have you seen his machine working? It's like Dante's Inferno over there.
The fire department is on hand, just in case, which seems to be a good idea.
All right, feed it. Go for it. Working great. Adam's going to have about like 50,000 pounds of wet hay to get rid of at the end of this story, and I'm not going to have anything.
In fact, Adam might not have very much wet hay at all. He's running out of water.
I don't know what the problem is, but I hear a lot of beating on something with a hammer, and Adam's kind of looking pale.
I had to take a wheel off so I can manually kind of at least let some of the water back in.
As is their way, the fire department saves the day.
Cheating? Would I consider this cheating? Absolutely not.
And while Tori's coming to the rescue, he's also thought up a modification.
This is adding some magnets to the front end of our feed trough. These are super, super strong neodymium magnets. And see if we can't pick the needle out at the very beginning.
You just had your finger on it, right?
Good idea. Jamie thought of it ages ago.
That's the little one.
Oh, man. They found one?
It made it through the slots.
You found one? Just one? Come on, let's keep going, we gotta go!
I was starting to think that they didn't put needles in the stack and they were just trying to screw with us or something.
Well, now you know.
That little needle took more than 4 hours to find. Turns out, that's how long it takes to find a needle in a haystack.
Hey,
is one found needle in your face.
It was on Tori's super magnet.
Wait, hold up. Found another one.
Yeah! Oh, that's, wow. Where'd you find it?
I saw it going down, so I got it on the magnet.
The magnets.
The magnet stopped
Magnets?
Yeah, okay, I spent 2 days building this, and you put down a magnet strip and...
Now that both teams know their machines work, finding the needles should be just a matter of time. But it's a lot more time than Adam expected.
I can see the cut now. Oh, we'll be drinking mimosas in an hour or 2. We'll be like sipping mimosas on the beach. Cut to 6 hours later. Adam's team is still going at it.
6 hours later, Adam's team is still going at it.
They found 2 needles,
They found 2 needles,
but still have the smallest needle and the bone needle to go.
but still have the smallest needle and the bone needle to go. Things are no better in Jamie's camp. Oh, and the sun will be going down soon.
You know what sucks the most? I keep getting little slivers of hay underneath my fingernails. That kills. I don't want to lose to those guys. I like to win, so I'm just trying to block out the pain.
Only one thing will soothe Tori's suffering.
Found the last metal needle.
Yeah! Oh, yeah!
All right, so all we have to do is process this last bit of the pile and then look for the bone needle, but we are 3 for 3 in metal needles.
Put that on the victory cushion.
Oh yeah.
3
Oh,
needles,
yeah.
3
Oh, yeah.
needles, all
3
3
needles,
metal, all
3
the metal,
needles,
all the
3
metal,
needles, 3 needles.
Obviously, something's working for them. We only found 1, and they found 3.
Suddenly, the Needle Finder 2000 is looking like a winner. But with victory just a bone needle away, Adam admits a potentially fatal flaw.
I never got around to checking to see if bone floats. I know it's kind of a critical oversight, but it turns out to be the kind of one I'm capable of.
And here's some more bad news.
Oh, there you go.
Jamie's catching up.
That one was found the good old-fashioned, honest way. It didn't even get to go through the machine. It was just sitting right there on the top of the pile.
How many do they have?
They have 2 needles.
This race is going down to the wire. The light's almost gone, but Adam's finished the last of his haystack.
All right, time to hand check for bone needles. Bone needle!
You know what? My hat goes off to them.
That feels good. Oh, give me some sugar.
Oh, my hands are hurt.
That is 1 bone needle.
Oh.
We have found all 4 needles. Stick it in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner.
Good job.
Nice work, Heine. Let's wrap up and go home.
Adam beat us fair and square. It's about time he beat me in one of these contests, so I'm actually happy for him.
I don't ever want to do that again. My back is killing me. I am soaked to the bone. I don't even want to think about the brown wash that comes off me in the shower tonight. It was a total nightmare to find a needle in a haystack.
Have you seen what happened to these?
What happened?
What does that mean?
They look like albinos. Why are they all yellow?
So, well, let's check the other ones. Maybe it's just the sweetness is wilting them.
They know that you hate them. See?
These ones are awful.
They're yellow and they're dying.
After nearly 2 months, the Talking to Plants experiment has a major problem.
I'm gonna go check the watering system and see if maybe the timers are off or what's going on.
It looks pretty dry, doesn't it?
The build team hasn't been up here for a week. A long, hot week. Now, faced with withered, dying plants, they wish they had.
One of these timers isn't working.
Really? So it's not getting any water?
Okay, I'm gonna check the moisture. And this one looks pretty moist on the top, but it's dry down there. Well, I guess they don't grow on kind words alone.
The problem is the timer that was letting the plants get water, the one that was actually feeding into the pots, the battery died.
I just think the talking plants are committing suicide because they're listening to I love you, love you, love you all freaking day.
The only upside, every greenhouse was affected in exactly the same way. So although the plants aren't a picture of health, the experiment is still valid. And now the build team will reap what it's sown.
I think to come up with our conclusion, what we need to do is pull the plants out of the pots, completely wash the soil off of the roots, and weigh the plant mass in each greenhouse. And that should give us a pretty good result.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Carrie. What's going on up here?
You're looking like a groundhog.
I'm here too.
Hi.
Hi.
Groundhog too.
As is traditional at harvest time, all the neighbors gather round to lend a
Well,
hand.
here's the first nice house.
Little cute peas. Sweet, wonderful, tiny.
I really wanted to hear Jamie do this one. I really wanted to hear, "You are the most beautiful plant I've ever seen. I love you."
So you're nice here, and then you're nasty here.
If you were in college, you'd be a freshman.
You called the plant a freshman?
I was running out of material.
Now for the hard data. Does talking to plants help them grow?
So this is the classical music.
Classical music.
Turns out, not as well as playing them music.
Wow! Dude!
Right?
Those look like very healthy plants.
They're buff.
All I hear is, "Ah! Ah!"
Number 7.
The metal house was the best performer of all.
How many pea buds?
But in both music houses, the plants were healthier, taller, and had the biggest peas.
6 pods.
My God, metal is huge. These plants are enormous compared to everything else.
I think heavy metal rules.
I think heavy metal
Totally rules.
16 inches.
Talking nice or nasty made no difference.
17. 2 pods.
2 shriveled pea pods, number 8.
Carrie's nice house did better than her nasty one, but the opposite was true for Scotty.
30 grams.
30 grams on number 8.
And the silent control house was the worst performer of all.
Say 9 grams.
9 grams, number 6.
So I went through all the data of what your plants did, and by and large, actually, hands down, talking and music did better than the control. There was larger biomass, larger yield, bigger pea pods.
So what do we think? Is it busted, plausible, or confirmed?
Well, this team did really good on this job, but the sample's not quite big enough to say confirmed. However, I'm really impressed. It is totally plausible.
Wow.
Interestingly, although talking helps, it doesn't matter what you actually say to your plants. That's what our data says. It says you could curse at it, you could be kind to it. The plant doesn't know the difference. But music for a bumper crop, let there be rock. Tori and I are going to try a pair of the death metal peas here.
Yeah, mine was too.
They taste quite good.
Oh, God. The ones that music was played to just taste fantastically.